Okay, so now what we're going to do is you are going to learn how to use the type tool to create this project in Photoshop. And it is very similar to using the brushes tools, except you're going to use the type and you're going to have to do a lot of duplicating of layers. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to click on the type tool. So we have this. You can change the type up here if you want to something standard. I'm going to change it to no mystery. And now I'm going to open up my layers and I'm going to click on one and I'm going to let that open and I'm going to hide this. And I know that when I use my type tool, I do not have to create a new layer because it does it for me. So I'm just going to start up here and making sure that black is my default color. We will go in and we will color overlay these later. So I'm just going to type the words and that's going off the screen. So I'm going to move that down so we can see it. Go back into here and I am going to just start typing. And then I'm going to go in and I'm going to highlight some different words in here and I'm going to change the fonts and the sizes so I have a little bit of a mix-up of sizes and shapes and not color, obviously. I'll leave daughter that font, but maybe I'll just change the size down to 9. And I'll change this font up here to Milk and Cereal. We'll leave it that. I need to add some more, so I'll type Hadley's name again. I'll re-highlight that, change that to Minstrel, and my cap locks is on, no wonder. That's okay, we'll leave it at that. Okay. And I better type. And I'll highlight that as well and do something like I love Derwin because I know that that's small and make it even smaller. Okay, so rather than just copying and pasting all this, and I could do that, I can make 2 lines of this if I really wanted to and then go in and change some things because I know that sometimes it will need to be longer, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to go into my layers and I'm going to duplicate this layer. So now I have 2. And I'm just going to select my move tool and I'm going to move it down. Now I don't want it to be repeated like that, so I'm going to move it over. And I'm going to need some more font over here, so I can either copy and paste something or I can just type something again. I'm just going to leave it as the same font. Now if I want to, I can duplicate it again. So now I have, and I used Command J that time. I'm going to move this over and I am just going to move some words around, copy, delete. I'm going to move that over to here and I'm going to paste. And I have too much spaces in between there. And I'll move fall. I'm just going to copy and delete fall. I'm going to put fall at the end, or I'll put it at the beginning. I'm going to move that over into here because I do have a little bit into there. Now if I wanted to, I can go in when I'm all done with this and I'll go in and I'll fill some with my brushes. So I am combining the two quite a bit. Now I want to duplicate all 3 of these layers. I want to be able to move these so that way I'm not just doing one at a time, otherwise it will take me a really long time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold shift and I'm going to select these 3 layers And I'm going to create a new group from layers. That's very important, from layers. And I'm going to put words. And then all I'm going to do is duplicate that, duplicate group, and now I press OK. Now I have two of them. And then I can move things around if I want to within there. And remember I said when I'm all done I can add stuff into it. I can go in here. And I can change fonts if I want to. Again, you don't have to keep these. I can go in here and change that one to something completely different. Go in here. I can just randomly choose fonts or words or letters or whole rows. If you want a whole row the same font, you don't have to do all of it different fonts. You can do actual complete rows fonts as well. So that's what I'll do with this one. I'll just make this one all one font. We'll do that font. So because they're different sizes, it does work. So then I can duplicate that group again, or I could just duplicate the top group, whichever groups I want to duplicate. I could put them both together. Again, I could do this. And new group from layers. Words big. So now I have both of those groups within there, and I can duplicate that group. Press OK. And I can duplicate the group again. And so forth and so on until I get all the way down to the bottom. Now once I've gotten this far, I can also free transform this group if I wanted to make it fit in a little bit better, like so. And I can press enter. Now what I need to do is I need to merge all of these groups together so they are one complete layer. So I'm going to click on that. I'm going to come up here. I clicked on the top one, held shift, clicked on the bottom one, and I'm going to merge layers. So now I have one giant layer. If I were to turn that off, this is what I have. It's all one. Now I can go in here and I can warp that. I can liquefy it and move them around so that way I have some movement to that if I wanted to. I can press OK there. It will liquefy it for me. I can go in, use my brushes. Which I don't know where they went. They should be in here. They should be saved. So I can go in and I can fill in areas that need to be filled in with my brushes. Or I can duplicate my layer again. And I can move that around if I needed to. If I wanted it to be more full so you can't really read it, it is completely up to you. I do not want it to look like this. So I would just go in on this layer, use my brush, and fill in areas that need to be filled. For example, right in here needs to be filled. You're not really going to be able to read anything, so duplicating that over and over again isn't that big of a deal. So I can go in and fill up those areas. Now what I need to do is I need to command click on the layer below it. So I have all this selected. Then I need to go to select inverse, making sure that your words layer is selected, and then I just hit delete. And now I have just these areas in here. And then I can go in again and I can select inverse again. So now I only have this selected, and I can go in and I can stamp into here as well. Now if you stamp, and nothing stamps like this, it's because you forgot to select inverse the second time. Now, in order to get this to be your gray, you need to go into your blending options. If you just double click on your layer, blending options will pop up. You'll want to click on color overlay, then click on your color, and then your eyedropper will come up and you can click on that. It should disappear your letters. You press OK here, and then you can hide this and you have your layer. So then what you need to do is you'll need to work on deselect. Now you'll work on your second layer. Find that. Now remember, when you use your type tool, you do not have to go straight across if you don't want to. You can free transform that and go in here like this. I would suggest doing that, have them go different ways. You can always warp those into there if you want to. Remember, you're going to create new groups once you do that. Then when you're all done, you will have an image that will be similar to the stamped version of this.